Never be defeated. These are simple words, but they carry the weight of centuries of wisdom and the hopes of countless people striving for happiness amid life's storms. They are a call to stay true to yourself, to hold firm to your beliefs, and to keep walking, even when every step feels heavy. In the heart of every person lies a wellspring of courage, waiting to be awakened. Buddhism teaches that happiness is not a treasure locked in a distant land. It is alive within us, quietly waiting for the key of faith to unlock it. Faith gives us the power to open that treasure. No matter how far we may fall, as long as we refuse to be defeated, we can always rise again. Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "Winter always turns to spring." This sentence, so full of hope, reminds us that even the coldest, harshest times are not forever. Even as snow covers the earth, beneath it life waits patiently, certain that the sun will return. In the same way, the dark days we face, a difficult illness, a painful loss, a feeling of being alone or misunderstood, are not the end unless we let them be our end. If we keep at it, if we keep chanting, practicing, and believing, the warmth of happiness will return and we will bloom again. But why is it so hard not to be defeated? Why do people lose heart when things become tough? The truth is, most of the battles we fight are inside our own hearts. Doubt, fear, and discouragement are like shadows that follow us, whispering that it's easier to give up. When those shadows grow stronger, drawing on the worries and criticisms of others, it becomes so tempting to turn back. Some people practice Buddhism seriously for a while, fueled by hope and joy, only to stumble when the path gets rocky. Perhaps they become ill. Perhaps friends or family criticize their faith. Perhaps they simply feel tired. At those moments, the possibility of defeat is real, and the choice becomes clear: stand tall or fall. The teachings say, if you falter in your resolve, you will be unable to accomplish anything. These words from the Gosho urge us to protect our determination as we would a precious flame. The Lotus Sutra, which Nichiren Daishonin cherished above all, tells us, we do not seek enlightenment outside ourselves. All the power to overcome lies within. Faith is not about waiting for a miracle, but about believing that you are the miracle. The moment you decide not to be defeated, that moment you become undefeatable. Problems will still come, but your attitude transforms. You begin to see each obstacle as a chance to grow rather than a reason to quit. Nichiren wrote to one of his followers, "Suffer what there is to suffer. Enjoy what there is to enjoy. Regard both suffering and joy as facts of life, and continue chanting Nammo Myoho Renge Kyo, no matter what happens." This is not a promise that suffering will disappear, but that you will gain the strength to meet it. Still, it is easy to be swayed by emotion, by fear and anger. At such times, we must remember that faith is not just a feeling, it is a decision and an action. Buddhism is reason, Nichiren wrote. This means we must check our feelings against the teachings. When emotions threaten to carry us away, we turn to the words of the Buddha, the Gosho, and our practice. These teachings are like a compass in a storm, helping us steer through confusion and find direction. Nichiren's own life was not easy. He faced banishment, threats, and even attempts on his life for his beliefs. He wrote, "The greater the hardships befalling him, the greater the delight he feels, because of his strong faith." He understood that struggle is not a sign of failure, but a sign that one is pushing forward, shaking loose the roots of long-held karma. The Buddha said, "Just as fire burns away impurities in gold, so too do hardships remove the stains of our heart." We can see our difficulties as the fire that purifies and polishes us, making us shine more brightly in the end. Sometimes, the battle is a quiet one. No one sees the tears you shed in the dark. Yet to choose faith at that lonely moment is to win a great victory over yourself. Even if you stumble 100 times, standing up again is proof that you are growing. "A winner is simply a dreamer who never gives up," wrote one teacher. In the Gosho we read, "Those who believe in the Lotus Sutra are as if in winter, but winter always turns to spring." This is the promise of renewal for everyone who continues, no matter what. To strengthen our faith, it helps to come together with others, just as Nichiren encouraged his followers to gather and support each other. In unity, we encourage one another, share experiences, and remind one another of our true strength. When one person falters, another can lift them up. Many in body, one in mind, the Daishonin taught. This is the spirit of the undivided heart, where we understand that each person's fight is our own, and that the victories of others light the path for us all. Sometimes we may think our problems are too small to matter, or too big to solve. But Buddhism teaches that each person's life is infinitely precious, and each struggle is deeply meaningful. Even a single moment of true intent is superior to a lifetime of empty practice, wrote Nichiren. This means that even if your steps are small, even if your faith wavers and you can only muster a little effort, each act of courage has value. What matters is to keep taking those steps. Faith is not just for good times. It is for every day. True faith means deciding every morning to greet the day without being defeated, no matter what awaits. Some days, that might mean pushing through fear or sadness. Other days, it might mean sharing a kind word with a friend. The important thing is not to compare our journey with others, but to win a victory over ourselves, day by day. The Daishonin wrote, "The wise will rejoice and the foolish will retreat." Which will you be? The answer lies in your next step. When obstacles come, we often wish they would simply disappear. Yet as calm waters do not make a strong sailor, it is the storms that teach us how to steer our ship. Nichiren's life was full of storms, but he never retreated. Instead, he wrote, "Difficulties will arise, and these are to be regarded as peace." What does this mean? It means that when we face a challenge and keep our faith, we turn that very moment into a cause for future happiness. Each hardship overcome becomes a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. The Lotus Sutra speaks often of courage, saying, "We will not be afraid. Though we encounter great obstacles, we will not retreat." In these words, we find the heart of being undefeatable, not that we are never afraid, but that we choose not to retreat. This courage comes not from arrogance, but from deep conviction, knowing that as long as you keep walking, you are on the path to victory. But what about when we fail, when we make mistakes, or fall short of our own ideals? Buddhism teaches that life is a journey of endless renewal. The Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." Each day is new, each moment a chance to begin again. The teachings call on us to have the courage to forgive ourselves and move forward. "A sword will be useless in the hands of a coward," Nichiren wrote. So too will the teachings of Buddhism prove of no value to the coward. Let us choose bravery. Some may ask, why bother? If suffering is everywhere, why fight? But the Lotus Sutra reminds us that all beings have a profound mission, a purpose that only they can fulfill. Your story is unique. By refusing to be defeated, you inspire others to do the same. One drop of courage can cause ripples that move across the world. There are times when faith is tested more than ever. Perhaps you are betrayed by someone close or lose the thing you value most. Perhaps your own body fails you, or you are faced with poverty, discrimination, or loneliness. These moments hurt deeply. There is no denying the pain. Yet, Nichiren reminded his followers, what is most important is to have the heart of a lion king. The heart of a lion is not free from fear, but it faces fear head-on, roaring into the darkness. In such moments, chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo becomes more than a ritual. It becomes an anchor. Each chant is a declaration. I will not be defeated. With each repetition, your determination grows. Your life begins to shine, not because the storms have ceased, but because you have learned to dance in the rain. To make this determination stronger, read and reflect on the great writings of the past. The Gosho is filled with guidance. When the skies are clear, the ground is illuminated. Similarly, when one chants with pure faith, one's life will be illuminated. Let these words enter your heart, reminding you that even the darkest night is chased away by a single flame of belief. Winning in life does not mean having no problems. It means refusing to be defeated by them. The Lotus Sutra tells us, just as a lotus grows in muddy water, it is possible to shine even in the most difficult circumstances. The flower does not complain of the mud. It uses the mud to grow stronger, bigger, and more beautiful. We too are meant to use our struggles as the soil from which happiness grows. Sometimes victory is not loud. It comes quietly, in the form of a heart that does not give up even when tired. It comes when you encourage someone else, even while your own problems remain unsolved. Nichiren wrote, Even a feeble person will not stumble if he is careful, but a strong person may stumble if he is unguarded. Humility and vigilance are our allies. As you continue on this great path of Kosen Rufu the movement to create happiness and peace for yourself and all people, never stray, no matter what. The Daishonin warned, if you abandon your faith halfway, you will be the one to regret it. By walking steadily, step by step, you create a life that cannot be shaken. The important thing is not to be the fastest or the strongest, but to keep going. As long as you do not quit, you will never be defeated. Victory in Buddhism is not just about personal gain. It is about transforming your own life so you can help others. The Lotus Sutra says they can save themselves and save others. When your life shines, you naturally light the way for friends, family, and even strangers. Your example becomes hope for someone who may be ready to give up. In this way, your victory becomes the victory of all. Sometimes, we are tempted to judge ourselves harshly. I should have done better. I am not as strong as others. When these thoughts come, remember the Daishonin's words. Exert yourself in the two ways of practice and study. Without practice and study, there can be no Buddhism. No one is perfect. What matters is to keep challenging ourselves, to keep learning and striving, even if progress is slow. Children understand the spirit of never being defeated. When they fall, they cry, but soon get up and try again, forgetting yesterday's pain in the excitement of a new challenge. We can learn much from this spirit. Those who fall to the ground rise up by pushing against it, says an old proverb. Each fall is an opportunity, not a defeat, if we use it to rise higher. Some people misunderstand faith, thinking it is a way to escape problems. But Buddhism teaches the opposite. To accept is easy. To continue is difficult, Nichiren wrote. But Buddhahood lies in continuing. We are not running away. We are facing life head-on, with open eyes and open hearts. This is the true meaning of never being defeated. The Lotus Sutra calls to us, at all times, think to yourself, how can I lead others to happiness? This question gives us a reason to get up, a reason to challenge sorrow and pain. When our own happiness is tied to the happiness of others, our strength multiplies. We find energy we never knew we had. We find courage even when we are afraid. Together, we become undefeatable. Often, people think victory means big, dramatic changes. But true change happens moment by moment, like water shaping a stone. Every decision to keep going strengthens your spirit. Every time you encourage yourself or another, you polish your life. Faith is the source of courage. Faith is the source of wisdom. Faith is the source of compassion, the Daishonin taught. With these, there are no defeats, only steps to victory. Buddhism tells us our lives are part of a vast, interconnected world. Your victory is never yours alone. It ripples outward, touching lives far beyond your sight. You may never know the effect of your courage, but it is real. In this way, we walk the great path together, never alone, never defeated. In moments of deepest darkness, remember Nichiren's words, the sun rises in the east and illuminates the west. Similarly, when one practices in this world, one's voice is heard in the worlds beyond. Your determination, your refusal to be defeated, echoes across time and space, lighting the way for all humanity. As you read these words, perhaps you are facing a challenge that feels impossible. Maybe your heart is tired, or you feel alone. If so, take heart. You are not alone. I am looking forward to your victory. I want to see you shining in triumph, wrote Nichiren to his followers. These words are for you too. Even if it seems your steps are small, each one matters. Even if your voice is quiet, it can inspire another. Refuse to be defeated. The most important battle is the one inside your own heart. Each day, choose not to retreat. Choose to chant, to study, to encourage others, and to believe in the limitless power of your own life. Victory is not the absence of problems, but the determination to rise above them, again and again. Never be defeated. Let this be your vow, your promise to yourself and to all those you love. Embrace each day with the courage of a lion, the patience of the seasons, and the unwavering faith that spring will come. For in your decision to keep going, to keep believing and striving, you become the hope of the world, the very example of happiness, shining in triumph.